One sunny afternoon, a father was in the middle of his usual routine, picking up his young son from school. As they walked home, he noticed something unusual. There were strange stains on his son's shirt. At first, he thought it might just be dirt from playing outside, but as he looked closer, he began to worry. These stains were not just from mud or food. They were darker and seemed to be in places where they shouldn't be. Curiosity and concern swirled inside him. He couldn't help but wonder what was going on. He decided to ask his son about it when they got home. "What happened to your shirt today?" he gently asked, trying to sound casual, even though his heart raced a little. His son shrugged, avoiding eye contact and mumbling that he didn't know. The father felt a pit in his stomach. His son had always been so open and full of life, and now he seemed distant, like something was bothering him. After dinner, the father decided to dig deeper. He turned off the television and sat down with his son in the living room, where they often shared stories and laughter. "I noticed the stains on your shirt again," he said softly. "Is there something you want to tell me?" For a moment, silence filled the room. The boy looked down at his hands, twisting his fingers together. Finally, with a trembling voice, he spoke. "It's just, I've been pushed in the mud at school. Some kids are being mean to me." Hearing this broke the father's heart. Anger surged within him, mixed with sadness. He felt protective of his son and knew he had to take action. This was not just about stains on clothes. It was about his son's well-being. "I'm so sorry to hear that," he said, wrapping an arm around his son's shoulders. "You should never have to go through that." That evening, the father found it hard to sleep. He kept thinking about what his son had said. He replayed the day's events in his mind, feeling the weight of his son's pain. The next day, he decided he couldn't just sit back and let this happen. He needed to understand what was going on in the school. When he dropped his son off, he stayed behind to talk to some other parents. As they exchanged stories, he discovered that many children were facing similar bullying. He felt a mix of relief and anger. It was clear that this was a bigger problem, one that needed to be addressed urgently. Determined, he went to the school principal's office. Sitting in front of the principal, he explained his concerns about the bullying. "This is affecting many kids," he insisted. "We need to create a safe environment for everyone." The principal listened intently and promised to look into it, saying they would hold meetings to address the bullying issue. After the meeting, the father felt hopeful. He wanted to ensure that his son and all the children at the school could play and learn without fear. That night, he talked with his son about what they could do together. "You're not alone in this," he reassured him. "We will make sure you feel safe at school." As the days passed, the father watched his son closely. He noticed that his spirit was dimmed but not extinguished. With each small conversation they had, he encouraged his son to share his feelings and reminded him that he was loved and protected. They worked together on ways to handle the situation, preparing his son to feel more confident. This was just the beginning of their journey, and the father knew they had to face the challenges ahead together. After the meeting with the school principal, the father felt a sense of purpose. He wanted to take action not only for his son, but for all the children who face bullying. He knew this was a critical moment that could lead to real change. The next morning, he woke up determined to make a difference. He started by talking to his son again. "Remember, we're in this together," he said with a smile. "We'll figure out how to make school better for you and your friends." His son nodded, looking a little more hopeful. They began to brainstorm ideas on how to approach the situation. The father suggested they create a small project together. They could make posters about kindness and anti-bullying to hang up at school. That afternoon, they gathered supplies, bright paper, markers, and stickers. They spent hours together, drawing and writing messages that encouraged kindness and friendship. "What if we say something like, 'Be a buddy, not a bully'?" the father suggested. His son's eyes lit up at the idea, and they worked together to create colorful posters filled with positive messages. Once the posters were ready, The father felt a surge of excitement. They decided to go to the school the next day to hang them up. When they arrived, they found a few other parents and children gathered in the hallway. The father introduced himself and shared their project. "We made these posters to spread kindness and show that bullying is not okay," he said. The other parents were supportive, and a few even joined in to help hang the posters. As they worked together, the father noticed his son starting to relax. He smiled and laughed as they put up the posters, feeling the support of the other families around them. They transformed the plain school hallway into a colorful display of hope and unity. When they finished, they stepped back to admire their work. The hallway was filled with bright colors and uplifting words. It was a reminder to everyone that kindness mattered. After they finished, the father took his son aside and said, "I'm so proud of you for doing this. You're making a difference." His son beamed, feeling proud of what they had accomplished together. This small act of bravery gave him more confidence. Over the next few weeks, things began to change. The school started to notice the impact of the posters. Teachers used them as a conversation starter in their classrooms. Children began to talk more about kindness and how to treat each other well. The father felt encouraged seeing his son's friends become more inclusive and supportive. One day, as they walked home, his son excitedly shared that a few kids in his class had approached him to play at recess. "They saw the posters and wanted to be nice," he exclaimed. The father felt a wave of relief wash over him. He realized that the project was not just about fighting bullying. It was about building connections and friendships among the kids. However, he knew that the journey wasn't over. They needed to keep pushing for change and raise awareness. He began to think about organizing a meeting with other parents and teachers. What if we could start a program to help kids understand bullying even better? He suggested to his son one evening. "We could have discussions and activities that encourage everyone to speak up." His son nodded enthusiastically, eager to be part of something bigger. Together, they planned a meeting at the school, inviting parents, teachers, and students. The father knew that if they could bring everyone together, they could create a community that stood strong against bullying. On the day of the meeting, the father felt nervous but also excited. He saw familiar faces in the audience: other parents, teachers, and many students, including his son. As he spoke about their experiences and the importance of kindness, he could feel the energy in the room shift. It was clear that they were ready to take action together. The day of the meeting arrived, and the father felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. He had prepared some notes, but deep down, he just wanted to speak from the heart. As he looked around the room, he saw parents chatting with teachers and kids whispering to each other, some even looking a bit anxious. The atmosphere was filled with anticipation, and he knew this was an important moment for everyone. When it was time to start, the father took a deep breath and walked to the front of the room. He smiled at everyone and began to speak. "Thank you all for coming today. I know we all care about making our school a safe and happy place for our kids. I want to share a little bit about what my son has been going through and why we decided to start this project." As he spoke, he shared the story of how he noticed the strange stains on his son's shirt and how that led him to discover the bullying. He could see the parents and teachers nodding in understanding. Many of them had similar experiences or knew children who had been bullied. This shared understanding brought a sense of connection to the room. He then introduced the posters they had made together. "These posters are a small step, but I believe they can help spread a big message," he said. "We need to remind our kids that it's important to be kind to one another. Everyone deserves to feel safe at school." The crowd responded with supportive murmurs, and he felt encouraged by their reactions. Next, he opened the floor for discussion. "I'd love to hear your thoughts. What can we do together to make our school a better place?" Parents started sharing their ideas, and the room buzzed with energy. One parent suggested starting a buddy system where older kids could mentor younger ones. Another proposed organizing fun activities that encouraged teamwork and friendship. As the conversation flowed, the father felt more at ease. He realized they were all on the same team united by a common goal. The kids listened closely, some even raising their hands to share their experiences. One girl spoke up, saying how she had felt scared to go to school because of mean comments from other students. Her bravery inspired others to share similar stories. The father felt proud of everyone for being so open. It was clear that this meeting was not just about discussing bullying. It was also about creating a community where everyone felt heard and supported. After a lively discussion, they agreed to organize a kindness week at school. During this week, they would focus on acts of kindness, teamwork, and understanding one another. As the meeting wrapped up, the father felt a sense of hope. Everyone was excited to work together, and he could see the positive energy in the room. They planned to meet again to discuss further ideas and strategies. After the meeting, parents and teachers approached him to express their gratitude for bringing everyone together. They appreciated his courage to speak out and make a difference. When he got home, he couldn't wait to tell his son about the meeting. "You won't believe what we did today," he exclaimed. His son's eyes widened with curiosity as he listened to the story. "We're going to have a kindness week at school. Everyone wants to work together to make things better," the father shared. His son's face lit up with joy. "That sounds amazing," he said, feeling proud that he had played a part in starting this change. The father knew that they had a long way to go, but he felt encouraged. Each step they took was a step toward creating a more positive environment for all the children. As they sat together that evening, he realized that this journey had not only brought awareness about bullying, but had also strengthened their bond as father and son. They were not just fighting against bullying, they were building a community of kindness and support, where everyone could thrive. That night, as they prepared for bed, the father felt grateful for the changes happening at school. He tucked his son in and said, "I'm proud of you for being brave and standing up for what's right. Remember, you're never alone in this." His son smiled, feeling safe and loved, knowing that together they could face anything. As the days passed, excitement filled the school with the upcoming Kindness Week. Students and teachers buzzed with energy, eager to participate in activities that would promote friendship and understanding. The father felt proud to see the enthusiasm growing among the kids. He could tell that something special was happening, and he couldn't wait to see how it would unfold. On the first day of Kindness Week, students arrived at school wearing bright, colorful shirts. Many had written kind messages on them, like "You are awesome," and "Be a friend." The father dropped off his son, noticing how happy everyone looked. It was as if the school had transformed into a place filled with positivity and support. His son waved goodbye, his smile wide, ready to start the day. Throughout the week, various activities took place. There were team-building games, art projects, and even a special assembly where students shared stories about kindness. The father attended the assembly, and as he watched the kids take the stage, he felt a surge of pride. His son stood up to share how the posters had inspired him. "We should all help each other and stand up against bullying," he said confidently. The audience erupted in applause, and the father's heart swelled with joy. During one of the days, the school organized a kindness challenge. Each student was encouraged to perform acts of kindness and report back about their experiences. The father watched as his son approached his friends, excitedly discussing ideas for what they could do. Together, they planned to bake cookies for their teachers and write thank you notes to staff members who made a difference in their lives. It warmed the father's heart to see his son taking the initiative to spread kindness. As the week progressed, the father noticed changes in his son and his friends. They were more open with each other, laughing and supporting one another. It was a stark contrast to the fear and sadness that had clouded their interactions just weeks before. The father felt hopeful as he watched the friendships grow stronger, and he knew they were on the right path. By the end of the week, the school held a kindness celebration. Parents were invited to join, and the gym was decorated with colorful banners, balloons, and the students' artwork. It was a festive atmosphere filled with laughter and excitement. The father felt proud to see the community coming together to celebrate kindness. He mingled with other parents, sharing stories and ideas about how they could continue promoting a positive environment at school even after Kindness Week ended. When the celebration began, students showcased their kindness projects, sharing what they had learned. His son spoke again, sharing the impact of their Kindness Week and how it had made a difference in their lives. "We can all make a change, no matter how small," he said, looking around the room at his classmates. The audience erupted in cheers and applause, reinforcing the importance of their efforts. As the event came to a close, the father felt a wave of emotion wash over him. He realized that this journey had brought not only awareness about bullying, but it also fostered a sense of community and belonging among the students. It was clear that the message of kindness had resonated deeply with everyone involved. On their way home, the father and son talked excitedly about the week's events. "Did you see how everyone was smiling?" his son asked, his eyes sparkling with joy. The father nodded, feeling a sense of pride wash over him. "You helped make that happen," he said. "You showed everyone how important it is to care for one another." That night, as they settled down for bed, the father reflected on how far they had come. He realized that this experience had not only helped his son, but had also encouraged him to be a better parent. Together, they had discovered the power of kindness, connection, and standing up for what was right. They had learned that change was possible when they worked together. As he tucked his son in, the father said, "I'm so proud of you for everything you've done. Remember, kindness doesn't end here. We can keep spreading it every day." His son smiled and replied, "Yeah, let's keep doing nice things." They both drifted off to sleep, dreaming of a brighter, kinder world where everyone felt safe and valued. After the successful Kindness Week, the father and his son felt a sense of accomplishment, but they also knew that their work was not done. The positive changes they witnessed at school inspired them to continue spreading kindness beyond the walls of the school. They talked about how they could make kindness a regular part of their lives, not just a week-long event. One evening, as they were sitting together at the kitchen table, the father suggested, "What if we create a kindness club? We can invite other kids and parents to join us. We can meet once a month to plan activities that help our community." His son's face lit up with excitement at the idea. "That sounds awesome. We can help people in our neighborhood too." The father smiled, impressed by his son's enthusiasm. They spent the next few days brainstorming ideas for their kindness club. They wanted to focus on small, achievable acts of kindness that could make a big difference. They wrote down ideas like visiting local nursing homes, organizing neighborhood cleanups, and even helping out at the local animal shelter. Once they had their list, they decided to invite other families from their school to join the Kindness Club. They printed out colorful flyers that explained their mission and handed them out to students and parents. "Let's get as many people involved as we can," his son said, his excitement contagious. When the first meeting of the Kindness Club arrived, the father and his son were both a little nervous. They had no idea how many people would show up. However, as families started to arrive, their worries faded away. The room quickly filled with kids and parents, all eager to learn more about their plans. The father stood in front of the group, feeling a mix of pride and gratitude. "Thank you all for coming. We're here because we want to make our community a better place. Together, we can spread kindness and support one another." His son chimed in, "We can do fun projects together and help people." The room buzzed with excitement as everyone shared their ideas for future projects. Over the next few months, the Kindness Club became a regular part of their lives. They organized events like community cleanups where they picked up litter in the local parks and planted flowers to beautify their neighborhood. The father watched as his son took charge, encouraging other kids to join in and helping them feel included. It was heartwarming to see the children working together, laughing, and creating a positive impact. During one of their meetings, they decided to organize a kindness day at the local park. They planned fun activities like games, face painting, and a bake sale, with all proceeds going to a local charity that supported families in need. The father felt proud as they worked together to bring their ideas to life. On the day of the event, the park was filled with families enjoying the sunny weather. Kids ran around playing games, while parents chatted and enjoyed homemade treats. The father's heart swelled with happiness as he watched his son helping others, directing activities, and welcoming new families. It was clear that the Kindness Club was becoming more than just a project. It was building a strong community spirit. As they counted the money raised from the bake sale, the father couldn't believe how much they had accomplished together. They had not only raised funds for those in need, but they had also created friendships and fostered a sense of belonging. The father looked at his son and said, "You've done an amazing job. I'm so proud of how you're leading this club." His son beamed with pride, feeling valued and appreciated. "Thanks, Dad. I love helping people." The Kindness Club continued to grow, attracting more families eager to make a difference. They realized that through simple acts of kindness, they could inspire others and create a ripple effect throughout their community. As they sat together that evening, reflecting on all they had done, the father felt grateful for this journey. He knew that the lessons learned about kindness and compassion would last a lifetime, shaping not only his son's character, but also the community around them. Together, they were building a brighter future, one act of kindness at a time. As the Kindness Club continued to grow, the father and his son realized they could expand their efforts even further. They talked about how important it was to involve not just their school community, but also their entire neighborhood. They wanted everyone to feel included and inspired to join in the spirit of kindness. So, they planned a big community event called Kindness Fest. The idea for Kindness Fest was to create a day filled with fun activities, music, and opportunities to help others. They envisioned a festival atmosphere, where families could come together, enjoy good food, and participate in various kindness-related activities. The father and his son were excited to share their idea with the Kindness Club members. At the next club meeting, the father presented the plan. "We want to host a Kindness Fest in the park next month. It will be a day for everyone to celebrate kindness and learn how they can help others in our community." The kids cheered with excitement, and the parents nodded in agreement. They quickly began brainstorming ideas for games, activities, and ways to involve local businesses. One parent suggested they could have a kindness wall where people could write messages of support and encouragement. Another idea was to invite local organizations to set up booths to inform families about volunteer opportunities. The energy in the room was infectious as everyone started discussing how to make the event a success. Over the next few weeks, the father and son, along with the Kindness Club members, worked tirelessly to plan Kindness Fest. They reached out to local businesses for donations, organized volunteers, and spread the word through flyers and social media. The excitement in the community grew, and soon they had people from all over expressing interest in attending. As the day of the festival approached, the father could see how much the club members had grown. They were taking ownership of the event, coming up with creative ideas, and working together like a well-oiled machine. His son was thriving in this leadership role, encouraging everyone and making sure no one felt left out. Finally, the day of Kindness Fest arrived, and the park was transformed. Colorful banners hung from trees, and tables were set up with delicious food, games, and activities. The weather was perfect, and families began to arrive, filling the park with laughter and excitement. The father stood at the entrance, greeting everyone with a big smile. He felt a wave of pride as he watched his son running around, helping set up games and chatting with families. The atmosphere was lively, and it was clear that the event was going to be a huge success. As the festival kicked off, people moved from booth to booth, enjoying the activities. The kindness wall quickly filled up with beautiful messages. Children wrote things like "You matter," and "Be kind to one another." Parents smiled as they read the encouraging words their kids were putting up. The father felt a deep sense of joy as he witnessed the community coming together, united by the simple yet powerful message of kindness. Throughout the day, there were various activities, from face painting to a scavenger hunt, that encouraged families to work together. There was even a corner dedicated to storytelling, where kids could share their own stories about kindness. Each story brought laughter, and sometimes even tears, reminding everyone how impactful small acts of kindness can be. As the sun began to set, the father gathered everyone for a closing ceremony. He thanked all the volunteers and participants for making the day a success. "Today, we have shown that kindness is powerful," he said, his voice full of emotion. "Together, we can make our community a better place. Let's keep the spirit of kindness alive, not just today, but every day." The crowd cheered, and his son looked up at him with pride. They had created something beautiful together, and the father knew this event would be remembered for years to come. As they packed up the festival, the father and son felt fulfilled. They had not only organized a fun event, but had also strengthened the bonds within their community. The Kindness Club had blossomed into something larger than they ever imagined, and they were excited to see where their journey would take them next. That night, as they reflected on the day, the father felt grateful. They had sparked something special in their community, and he knew that this was just the beginning. Together, they would continue to spread kindness, one small act at a time, creating a brighter future for everyone around them. After the success of Kindness Fest, the father and his son felt inspired to keep the momentum going. They wanted to build on what they had created, and it was clear that the Kindness Club was becoming a significant part of their community. Families were excited about continuing the work they had started, and many people expressed their desire to get involved in more projects. One evening, as they sat down to dinner, the father and son discussed their next steps. "What do you think we should do now?" the father asked, looking at his son with interest. "I think we should do something that helps people who might be struggling," his son replied thoughtfully. "Maybe we can organize a food drive." The father smiled at the idea. "That's a great suggestion. We can gather non-perishable food items and donate them to families in need." They both started brainstorming ways to spread the word. They decided to create colorful posters and share them on social media, encouraging everyone in their community to participate. In the following days, they set up a drop-off location at the local community center. The Kindness Club members helped design the posters, making them bright and eye-catching. They wrote messages like, "Help us fill the shelves," and "Every little bit counts." Their enthusiasm was contagious, and soon the whole community was buzzing about the food drive. As the collection day approached, the father noticed how excited his son was. He was eager to make a difference and help others. The father felt proud of his son's determination and compassion. "I think this is going to be a big success," he said, giving his son a reassuring smile. On the day of the food drive, families began to arrive at the community center, bringing bags and boxes filled with food. The father and his son greeted everyone with warm smiles, thanking them for their generosity. The father could see the joy on his son's face as he helped organize the donations. It was heartwarming to witness so many people coming together for a common cause. As they collected food, they made sure to share stories of how the food would help families in need. "Every can of food we collect can make a difference," the father explained to a group of kids who had come to help. "It can feed someone who might be hungry and show them that we care." The children listened intently, understanding the importance of their actions. The food drive turned out to be a huge success. By the end of the day, they had collected an impressive amount of food. The Kindness Club members cheered as they counted the items, feeling proud of what they had accomplished together. The father could see the impact they were making, and it filled his heart with joy. Later that week, they arranged for a local charity to pick up the food donations. When the representatives from the charity arrived, the father and his son greeted them with excitement. "Thank you for coming to collect the food," the father said. "We're so happy to help families in our community." As they loaded the food into the charity's truck, the representatives expressed their gratitude. "This is going to help so many people," one of them said, smiling. "Your community has truly come together." Hearing those words made the father and his son feel even prouder of their efforts. After the food drive, the Kindness Club continued to meet regularly. They decided to make it a tradition to hold seasonal drives throughout the year. Each time, they would focus on different needs in the community, whether it was collecting warm clothing during winter or school supplies in the fall. This way, they ensured that their commitment to kindness never faded. The father was amazed at how much the Kindness Club had grown. It became a vibrant hub for families to come together, share ideas, and support each other. The community was now more connected than ever, and everyone was eager to lend a helping hand. One night, as they prepared for bed, the father turned to his son and said, "I'm really proud of what we've built together. You've helped so many people and inspired others to do the same." His son smiled back, feeling proud and accomplished. "It feels good to help others, Dad. I want to keep doing this forever." With those words, the father knew they were on the right path. They had ignited a spark of kindness in their community, and together they would continue to nurture it. The journey of spreading kindness was just beginning, and the father felt grateful to share it with his son. Together, they were creating a legacy of compassion and care that would last for years to come. As the seasons changed, the Kindness Club continued to thrive and make a positive impact in their community. The father and his son had created a warm environment where families felt inspired to join in and help those in need. Each meeting was filled with laughter, ideas, and excitement about upcoming projects. One sunny afternoon, as they prepared for another club meeting, the father noticed his son deep in thought. "What's on your mind?" he asked gently. His son looked up, his eyes bright with inspiration. "Dad, I was thinking we should do something special for the elderly in our community. Maybe we can organize a visit to the nursing home and bring them some treats." The father loved the idea. "That sounds wonderful. Many elderly people can feel lonely, and a visit could really brighten their day." They decided to plan a fun afternoon at the nursing home. They would bring cookies, play games, and even host a little talent show where the kids could perform for the residents. Excited by the idea, the father and son set to work. They baked batches of cookies, filling their home with sweet smells. The father showed his son how to decorate the cookies with icing and sprinkles, and together they created beautiful treats. "These will make the residents smile," his son exclaimed, covered in flour and icing. On the day of their visit to the nursing home, the father and son arrived with a box full of cookies and smiles on their faces. They were greeted warmly by the staff, who were thrilled to see the Kindness Club members. "Thank you for coming. The residents will love this," one of the staff members said. As they walked into the common room, the father felt a mix of excitement and nerves. The elderly residents were sitting in chairs, some reading books, others chatting softly. When the children entered, the atmosphere instantly brightened. "We brought cookies for you," his son announced, holding up the box proudly. The residents' faces lit up with joy as they welcomed the kids. The father watched as his son moved around the room, handing out cookies and chatting with everyone. "What's your favorite cookie?" he asked one resident, who smiled back and said, "Chocolate chip, just like yours." It warmed the father's heart to see how his son connected with the residents. After everyone enjoyed the cookies, it was time for the talent show. The kids had prepared songs, dances, and skits to entertain the elderly residents. As they performed, laughter and applause filled the room. The father was amazed at how engaged everyone was. The residents clapped along, some even joining in with the songs. One elderly lady stood up and shared a funny story from her youth, making everyone laugh. The kids listened intently, their eyes wide with wonder. The father realized that this connection between generations was truly special. The visit not only brightened the day of the residents, but also created lasting memories for the children. As the afternoon came to a close, the father thanked the staff and residents for their warm welcome. "We hope to come back soon," he said. His son added, "We'll bring even more cookies next time." Everyone smiled, and the father felt grateful for the opportunity to foster such meaningful connections. Driving home, his son couldn't stop talking about the day. "Did you see how happy they were, Dad? I want to go back every month." The father smiled, seeing how passionate his son had become about helping others. "That's a great idea. We can make this a regular visit and bring more kids along too." In the weeks that followed, the Kindness Club planned more visits to the nursing home. They brought different treats each time and even invited the residents to join their community events. The connection between the young and old deepened, creating a beautiful bond that enriched everyone involved. As they continued their journey, the father and his son learned that kindness had no age limit. They discovered that sharing joy and laughter could bridge the gap between generations. Together, they were creating a vibrant community where everyone felt valued and cared for, reminding each other of the power of kindness. Each visit to the nursing home became a cherished tradition, bringing hope and happiness to all, reinforcing the idea that kindness truly knows no bounds. As the Kindness Club continued its work, the father and his son felt a growing sense of community spirit around them. They had seen the positive impact their efforts had on both the elderly residents of the nursing home and the kids who participated in their activities. This bond was creating lasting friendships and memories that everyone cherished. One day, as they were cleaning up after a visit to the nursing home, the father asked his son, "What do you think we should do next?" The boy paused for a moment, thinking deeply. "I feel like we should do something for the families in our community who are struggling. Maybe a way to help them during the holidays," he suggested. The father nodded, impressed by his son's compassion. "That's a wonderful idea. We can organize a holiday gift drive." Excited about the plan, they got to work right away. They decided to create a list of items that families might need during the holidays. They included essentials like warm clothing, food items, and toys for the children. Once they had their list, they presented it at the next Kindness Club meeting. "We want to help families who might be having a tough time this holiday season," the father explained to the group. "Let's come together and make a difference." The members of the Kindness Club were eager to participate. They split into teams to brainstorm ways to gather donations. Some families volunteered to create flyers to hang around the neighborhood, while others reached out to local businesses for support. The enthusiasm in the room was palpable, and it filled the father with pride to see so many people committed to helping others. As the days passed, the Kindness Club worked hard to spread the word about the gift drive. They decorated their flyers with bright colors and cheerful holiday themes, urging everyone to contribute whatever they could. They put drop-off boxes in the community center and at local businesses, making it easy for people to donate. The response from the community was overwhelming. Families brought in bags of toys, boxes of food, and warm clothes. One weekend, the father and son went to check on the donation boxes. As they arrived, they were amazed by how much had been collected. The sight of the overflowing boxes warmed their hearts. "Look at all of this, Dad. We're going to help so many families," his son exclaimed, his eyes shining with excitement. With the deadline approaching, they planned a day to sort and wrap the gifts. The Kindness Club members gathered at the community center, ready to transform the donated items into beautiful presents. They spread out tables, rolled out wrapping paper, and brought out ribbons and bows. The atmosphere buzzed with laughter and chatter as everyone worked together. The father watched his son organize a group of younger kids, showing them how to wrap presents. It was a joy to see him take charge and encourage others. "Let's make these gifts look amazing," he said, demonstrating how to tie a perfect bow. The children followed his lead, their faces full of concentration and determination. As they wrapped, the father felt a deep sense of gratitude. This experience was teaching his son important lessons about empathy, teamwork, and the joy of giving. After hours of hard work, they had created beautiful packages filled with love and care. On the day of the distribution, the Kindness Club members arrived early, full of excitement and anticipation. They set up tables in a large room at the community center, arranging the gifts by age group. Families began to arrive, and the atmosphere was filled with joy. Parents and children walked in, eyes wide with wonder at the sight of all the gifts. As families picked out gifts, the father and son helped them choose items that suited their needs. What would your little one like? The father asked a mother who looked overwhelmed with choices. She smiled gratefully and pointed to a toy truck, her child's face lighting up with joy. Moments like these reminded the father of the importance of community and compassion. When all the gifts had been given out, the room echoed with laughter and happy chatter. Parents expressed their gratitude, and the joy on the children's faces made all the hard work worthwhile. The father looked at his son and saw a sense of fulfillment reflected in his eyes. As they cleaned up, the father felt a wave of happiness wash over him. Together, they had made a significant difference in their community, bringing smiles and warmth to families during the holiday season. "This was the best day ever, Dad," his son said, hugging him tightly. That moment solidified the father's belief that kindness was truly a gift that kept on giving. They had started a beautiful tradition, and as they headed home, he knew this was just the beginning of many more acts of kindness to come. Together, they would continue to spread joy, making their community a better place, one act of kindness at a time.